Clear and temperatures will climb into the lower 60s, topping out near 63 degrees. Light south winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour will keep conditions comfortable. As we head into the evening hours, skies will gradually turn partly cloudy. Temperatures will cool slightly, settling into the 50s after sunset, making for a pleasant evening overall. Overnight, clouds will increase a bit more. Expect partly to mostly cloudy skies with lows near 50 degrees, much milder than what we've seen over the past few days. Tuesday remains warm and fairly quiet. Highs will reach around 65 degrees under partly to mostly cloudy skies. A weak disturbance may bring a few very light scattered showers, mainly near sunset and east of I-65, but most locations will stay dry with no meaningful rain expected. That's your Monday afternoon and evening weather update. I'm Southern Tennessee weather meteorologist Elijah Kirby.
Across back roads and interstates, Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee has protected Tennesseans like you for over 75 years. So wherever you're headed, trust our auto insurance to get you there with peace of mind. If you're new to the area or just new to us, call your local agents, Jeff and Kenneth, at 931-575-5050 or visit the Bedford North Main Farm Bureau office at 1735 North Main Street, Suite C1 in Shelbyville, Tennessee. Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Tennessee Insurance for Tennessee life. We're real classic rock for Middle Tennessee. That means big guitar solos, letting your hair down, and we're even taking our pickup truck on a back road. There you happy now, Nashville. Real classic rock. The Zinger 100.9 and AM 1400. Coming to you live from WZNG Studio B, it's the Cascade Coaches Show on the Zinger 100.9. Get ready for inside analysis and recap on all things Cascade High School basketball with the Lady Champions head coach, Janie DeMumbrium, and Champions head coach, Doug Worsley. Hosted by Voice of the Champions, Noah Maddox. Now let's send it live to Studio B for another edition of the Cascade Coaches Show.
Welcome, everybody, into the Cascade Coaches Show, live from Studio B on the Zinger 100.9 and AM 1400. Once again, I'm Noah Maddox, joined by Coach Janie DeMumbrium. Welcome in.
Thanks for having me.
It's always a blast. And Coach Doug Worsley, he'll be joining us later in studio at 5:30. We have a packed show for you this evening as Cascade gets set to begin non-district play, conclude non-district play tomorrow night, and then begin the second phase of the season, district play, on Friday against Loretto. We'll get into that as the show goes on. But first up, Cascade Coaches Show brought to you by Five Oaks Farm of Tennessee, Clanton Pipe and Supply, First Community Bank, and Kincaid Service Company. We're also live on the Facebook channel and the YouTube channel as well. Facebook profile, I guess. YouTube channel. So, Coach, welcome in again. And you guys improved to 13 and 12 and 3 overall, 15 games played with a 28-point win on Friday night against Fayetteville City. I guess the first thing is that that is new team high for you guys in points scored since you've been here by a whole 12 points. So blew it out of the water pretty early on Friday. It was a good Fayetteville, solid Fayetteville squad, and they started hitting some shots in the second half. You guys shot 56% from the floor, which is a season high, and outscored them, doubled them up in the paint, 44-22, out-rebounded them pretty substantially as well. You guys, it looks like you guys are kind of finding your stride heading into district play after this next game. What can you kind of give that as a testament to how y'all have grown together and started to play the way that you, I assume, would want to play?
Well, these girls, they're just playing for each other. They're playing for the name that's on the front of their shirt, and they're playing for the people in the stands. They just play hard. They want to be successful for each other. And I think that because of that, we're seeing the success on the court. I mean, they come in every day wanting to get better. And they're willing to put in that extra time outside of practice that needs to be done. You know, we had any given night, somebody else can step up of the game. But, you know, Kagan, she's been really consistent with this year, I think with 18 points per game so far, which is fabulous for her. And you want nothing else but the best for her, especially, you know, she had a tough year last year starting off and then was able to finish up the season pretty well last year. And then now Lizzie's being more consistent and giving us I think she's maybe 13 points per game right now. And I think she showed the other night, you know, everybody can try and go focus on Kagan for that box and one or diamond and one, whatever you want to do, because Lizzie said, that's fine. We've got other people that can also help us out. Sometimes Kagan can be a distractor for her others. Decoy. For others to shine. And that's just been great for us. So.
For sure, Kagan right up there, 17.9, so 18 points a game. Lizzie just under 13. She had 24 on Friday night and hit 3 threes, which, I mean, getting started early, you know, we kind of talked about it a little bit on Friday, but her getting started early, hitting that first one in the first quarter, felt like really settles her down and gets her, you know, in the flow a little bit as the game starts. She had 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Just, you know, you kind of were jumping to it, but a solid performance from her. Caroline had 16 on, you know, 5 of 10 shooting. That's the kind of efficiency that you guys, you know, would hope to get.
Yeah, I mean, we don't expect big numbers out of everybody. You know, we're going to have our few that have those big games, but as long as we can get some contributes from other people, then we're good. I mean, we haven't had that in the past consistently. And I mean, when I can look at my book and I have three or 4 girls in double digits, and I think we had 4 on Friday night, then that's a highlight for us, because again, you think you're going to shut down one, another one can step up, and Lizzie has shown it. Lexi showed it in Gatlinburg. Jocelyn showed it in Gatlinburg. Jade, I mean, you got 11 points right there. I mean, how are you going to guard her? Caroline also, I mean, there's been multiple games where she's been in that double digits. So
for sure, I mean, it really helps when you got not just double digits, but 2 that surpass 20. You probably got a pretty high winning percentage. You know, when you get into that range, you know, and 56% from the floor as a team. You know, and it's no shocker that the individuals that put those points together were also hyper efficient, shooting 50% or better. Kagan, you know, 8 of 10 from the floor, just 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Couldn't really ask for much more, and she, you know, played 3 quarters. So, you mentioned her averaging about 18 points a game. Brian alluded to it a little bit off the air, I believe, on Friday. Was just referring to the 1,000-point scoreboard, and, you know, was doing that. And I told him, well, I thought you were going to take it to where, you know, you're talking about Cascade focus history, you know, why not, you know, Miss Basketball of Double A, you know, when you get the right numbers, you can kind of just kind of by default almost slot somebody into that little conversation. And as we start district play, you know, it's never too early. And I'm sure you as a coach, you know, you're focused on the wins and losses, and so is the team, and Kagan especially. But, you know, when the individual performances come along with it, then, you know, it needs to be recognized at some point.
Absolutely. I mean, when you have a special player like Kagan that's doing special things, and they obviously need to be recognized. I mean, right now she was just nominated or recognized as the BCAT, which is the Basketball Coaches Athletic Association of Tennessee.
Yes.
Association of Tennessee.
Yes.
That's what it is now. As a player to watch for Double A. And I think that just shows the work that, you know, she's put in the summers and in the preseason. I mean, it's been big, and she absolutely deserves every recognition that she gets. I mean, she's worked hard. Nothing's been given to her at all. I think when we all look at how far she's come from her freshman year, it's big ground for her. So.
For sure, yes. They did, you know, release, I guess you could say, today, actually, January the 5th, the watch list, and there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, on the watch list. And Kagan is one of those that is on there, including, names that we recognize, Abby Alexander and Alyssa White over at Community, to go along with, players from all around the state. So that's a good start. At least, from, I guess you could say, me and Brandon and Brian are a little bit of, in a more of a homer situation than other people. But, sometimes, all the time you want the right people to be recognized for the right way. So did want to bring that up since Brian got it, stuck in my head on Friday night. You guys will be back in 2 minutes. Continue talking to Coach JD on the other side of this break on the Cascade Coaches Show.
Looking for farm fresh beef with real Tennessee flavor? At Five Oaks Farm in Shelbyville, their cattle are pasture raised and grain finished for rich, tender taste every time. From their popular burger box to the fully stocked family box, Five Oaks Farm is here to serve you with high quality, locally raised beef. Order your box today at fiveoaksfarmtn.com. Five Oaks Farm, a brand you can trust.
Friends don't let friends miss out on savings. They share tips, tools, and smart choices that help your money go further. At First Community Bank, our savings accounts make it easy to work toward your goals with flexible options, competitive interest, and the friendly guidance you deserve. Because saving more isn't something a good friend lets you miss out on. Open an account today and put your money to work. First Community Bank. Friends and neighbors first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Visit Kincaid Service Company today to experience the superior comfort of a Serta mattress. Serta has pioneered sleep innovation for more than 90 years, bringing quality products to more than 150 countries worldwide. Serta Comfort is validated by consumers with thousands of 5-star reviews and are designed and assembled in the U.S. at one of Serta's state-of-the-art facilities. Serta's award-winning mattress collections are created by providing superior comfort along with overall support and breathability. Get Serta Comfort by visiting Kincaid Service Company in Shelbyville. Online at kincaidservice.com.
If you're in the market for heavy equipment, Clanton Pipe and Supply has you covered. With everything from skid steers, backhoes, and even mini excavators, you never know what Clanton will have on the lot. For all your pipe and used equipment needs, call 931-684-4847. For heavy equipment, financing is available with approved credit. And of course, you know Clanton for their corrugated metal and plastic culvert pipe. They carry all types and sizes, not to mention that delivery is also available. 931-684-4847, ClantonPipeandSupply.com.
It's the Cascade Coaches Show on the Zinger 100.9.
Welcome back to the Cascade Coaches Show. Maddox here with Coach JD in Studio B right here on the Zinger 100.9 and AM 1400. The Cascade Coaches Show brought to you by Five Oaks Farm of Tennessee, Clanton Pipe and Supply, First Community Bank, and Kincaid Service Company. So this week, concluding last week, Friday night, just the one game, and you guys, I guess, put two games into one in terms of offensive output with 86 points and an 86-58 win. You guys went up big, 44-17 at halftime. Really kind of put them away. Why were you guys able to put them away so early? Not maybe you as a coach weren't thinking that way with how many threes they made in the second half, but for all intents and purposes, the game was done and dusted after the first half.
Well, I just thought we played a very good defense. I mean, our girls really bought into our scouting plan. We knew who the shooters were for them, and we knew Jocelyn was going to have to do a great job inside on their inside girl, and she did a great job, and our helped out and make sure that we could double on the inside to make it difficult for her to get a shot. My coaches, they did a great job with the scouting report of identifying just those tendencies of their girls, and I mean our girls are just taking that scouting report and just running with it. So
yeah, and the other thing is no Susanna Cruz on Friday, so the interior Jocelyn Laughlin, stepped in there, and as Brian even remarked on the broadcast, is one of the strongest players on the team, if not the strongest, and that was your claim claim
She
to fame on
absolutely
Friday,
is.
or I guess it's her claim to fame. But doing battle. Caden Parks had 17 over 19 in the second half. She's shot 14 threes, made shoots a lot of them, made 5 of them. A lot of those again in the second half. But you guys, compared to the last 3 times that you guys have played them, it's been kind of we should be up by 20, but it's kind of they're sticking around, and then they hit all their threes at the end like they did on Friday, except it's a closer game.
And that's what makes them so unique. Coach Fitzgerald does a great job over there of teaching the fundamentals and just getting his kids to play hard. I know he's battling numbers, which now looking at us, we're battling numbers, Huntland's battling numbers, everybody's battling numbers, but for the kids that he has out there, he gets them to play hard, and that's what keeps them in the game. And they shoot the ball well. They're not right on the line making those 3-pointers. They're about they're about 3 or 4 steps. And they made a lot of their threes when I started subbing a lot of our kids. So that just goes to experience with the scouting report and being aware of what their specialty is. So
we'll close the books on that one. Again, that was the highest point total in the Jenny DeMarbrium era, and it's at least it's the highest in quite a long time here for the Lady Champions. That was like we said, 2 games of offense into 1, and you'll take it heading into this week, which is a 2-game week. Conclude non-district play tomorrow night against Huntland, a former district foe for Cascade for quite some time, and then starting district play, jumping right into it, head first off the diving board against Loretto on Friday. But hey, I mean, you got to play them at some point. Maybe you'd push it back a week, to get
why not just go at it and see where we're at.
Yeah, and it could serve as so many different things on Friday. But since in the interest of that being a district game, we'll talk about Friday first. And the district play as a whole, you guys first year in this new district with Loretto, Summertown, Community, and Chapel Hill, along with you guys. It has been, Summertown and Loretto in the in Region 5, now in the same district. We've talked about it, in the preseason. We talked about it during the season a little bit, but now that you're on the cusp of starting district play, the first of probably 3 times you'll see this team before a region tournament. What are the kind of thoughts going through your head, team's head, as y'all get ready for to open district play on Friday night?
For me, I'm ready for it. This first half of the season, it's been great, and I just want to continue the ride with the girls. It's such a special group. I think the girls are ready for it too. They've seen that they have potential to do some unique things in this in second half of the season, and Friday will be a great test for us. I've said it, and I won't shy away from it. We're the smallest team in our district, and so it's going to come out to who's got the most heart and who's got the most grit and who can execute the game plan. Loretto has great tradition over there. Ashley Rutledge does a great job coaching those girls up. She's invested in them when they're young, in their 3rd and 4th grade, and I think maybe 2nd grade league that they have with the DVBA. And she's involved with their middle school. So, she's building that program over there to be what it is and continue that tradition. And so I hope that our girls see that and say that that's what we want too. And I hope it's not another Moore County situation to where, we're out there and our eyes are bugging out of our head because our girls are absolutely capable. If I didn't think that they were capable, hey, I'd be right here and saying, I'm not sure we've got a chance, but we're going to go out there and play hard. But I absolutely think that we can come out there and compete with their girls. So.
Yeah, I think, going back, last time you guys played was 2 seasons ago.
Over there.
Over there at their place, region semifinal. But it was I would say, an inspired performance by you guys. At that time of year, of course, you would expect every team to play, as hard as they can and all sorts of things. But it was, a really good, I think, maybe a little bit of an eye-opening viewing experience for some people. Maybe the Loretto fans that show up, just know the name and know that the struggles over the past few years But then, they got a game for a little bit. You guys handed it to them a little bit. Made them work for it for sure. They're 7-7 this year, which is misleading.
Absolutely.
For sure. But considering who they played Huntington, just in this class, that is Huntington, and they've played some teams from Alabama and just teams that are bigger classifications in the state.
Well, and she does that on purpose.
Right.
I mean, she's trying to get her girls ready because of that tradition.
Yeah.
And she's surrounded by a lot of bigger schools, and then of course I think that I'm not sure you have to register for it, but I think you have to get invited to that Tennessee Report tournament over there in Jackson that they went to. So that's just the credibility for their program. But, they've got another Weathers girl. She's a junior this year, and she's having great games. I think she scored 27 points the other night. She's stepping out, making threes. She's huge. So it would be interesting to see how we defend her on the inside. And then Coach Rutledge added a fantastic point guard, Alexa Crosby. She shoots some deep threes. We thought number 3 shot deep threes the other night, but this girl will definitely let it go. And like I said, she's a freshman, and Coach Rutledge is trusting her to run her offense through a freshman. And I think that speaks volumes of this young girl's talent. So
for sure. And it'll be, you mentioned it, 5 minutes ago, you guys, probably the smallest team in the district. And so we can say it's going to be a clash of styles on Friday, but it's going to be that just about every district game for the next month and a half.
They don't match up with us well. We don't match up with them well.
Yeah.
And so it'll be very interesting. I think our style of play will give us that edge, but it all depends. I'm dealing with teenage girls. I mean, they might come in and lay an egg. I don't know, but we're going to get them to that spot to where they're ready, and they trust us for that, and we trust them to go out there and execute.
For sure, and it's a month and a half long, continued process as you get through district play. Still a couple non-district games, thrown in there because there's an odd amount of teams. There's 5 teams. So you have to, to play 2 games a week. You have to, play throw a couple non-districts in there. At least for us on our end, the only common opponent is Richland, but that game was on December 2nd at this point. It's a month ago, and they've played almost a whole screen full of games since then.
Absolutely.
But it was close, and they did lose by 3 or by 2 to Richland, and you guys took down Richland by double digits. So not to put any expectations on you guys for Friday night, but
we like those high
that
expectations.
is out there.
We like them. Keep putting them on them, because I'm telling you, these girls, they're rising to the top when it means the most. So.
For sure. It means a ton. We can talk about, we have talked about, but, Sophie Weathers, great players. And then you got, there's a pretty good team over here that can match them, and it has the individual scoring talent as well to match just about anybody that you guys are going to play for the rest of the year. So we'll look at towards Huntland now. Actually, a little handy dandy notebook. Compared to last year, coming into district play, first 15 games. Last year, we're going just first 15 games that were listed. That includes the district opener against Cannon County, but for sake of little similar comparisons, you guys improved in just about every statistic, more or less. But the points per game and points against, it's the biggest noticeable difference. It's, you guys are scoring almost 57 a game. Of course, 86 helps. But with that, giving up 46. Last year, it was, you got scoring 48, giving up 50. This year, it's almost plus 11, or it is plus 11. And then last year was minus 2. And that kind of, I guess, for our audience, can encapsulate all of the improvements, statistically at least, from last year to this year. What would you give as some of the bigger reasons for the improvement in all areas, including, it's obviously translated into the win-loss column.
Our girls are putting in a lot of work outside of practice. I am a firm believer. My husband and I, we talk to our kids about this all the time. When you come to practice as a team. But it's the individual stuff that you have to do outside of practice that you bring into practice that makes your team better. Yeah. And we've had several girls put in a lot of time. And then I think our girls are just growing in the game. They're learning that now we're 2 years with this core group together, and they have learned to mesh with each other and read each other offensively. And it's just the style of play, too, that we're starting to play. When we're able to get up in you and force some turnovers or get some deflections on you, then we're able to score a little bit more than we have in the past. But I do give a lot of credit to it's our girls putting in the work outside of, hey, the 2-hour practice that we have. Yeah. And that's huge. And like I said, we are on our own kids about that. You're not going to be successful if you think that I'm just going to come in for 2 hours and I'm going to be able to make my shot consistent and I'm going to get the reps that I need. It's not going to happen, because when you're in practice, you're as a team. You're not individual. Of course, we do shooting drills and everything, and we hounded a lot of that in preseason. But at the same time, I mean, I didn't have everybody in preseason at all. They all played multiple sports. So it's the work they do outside, and that's just them wanting to be better for themselves.
For sure, yeah. It's there's only so much time in a day for team practices, and you can assume that everybody else is
doing the same thing.
Putting in the individual work. So if you're not, then you're
it's noticeable.
Yes,
hey, it's noticeable.
then you're falling a little bit behind. Which you guys obviously are, like you said, putting in the work off the court, but off the game court, and individually, and it's like you said, it's showing week to week, game to game. So district play starts Friday, Huntland tomorrow. You got Single A school used to be a district foe for Cascade for a good little while. They're coming in at 10-4. They, like you said, they've said off the air, they play hard. But I don't want to steal your thunder at all. What going into tomorrow night's game as the final ramp up before the season shifts? What are you looking for, and what can everyone else that's listening expect to see from Huntland tomorrow, and you guys going up against them?
Yeah, they have some pretty tall and lengthy girls. They play a lot of 2-3, which is just so weird. Coach Woodson and I talked about that today. We have seen a lot of 2-3.
Yeah, Brandon even did a thing in the back there. It's like, oh boy.
Here it goes, 2-3. So it's been very interesting to see how our girls are growing against that 2-3. And so I'm not as panicked about it anymore. Yeah. But I mean, they don't have a big numbers, but again, that is another coach, just like Coach Fitzgerald at Fayetteville City, Coach Prince over there at Huntland. He does a great job of getting his girls to play hard. And he's able to mix it up. He's got great 3-point shooters. We're going to treat every single one of them like they're a great 3-point shooter. And we're going to have to do a good job inside again. So it could be very much like the second half was against Fayetteville City if we don't do our job. And we've got to make sure that we take care of inside and outside. So, maybe we look to get up and down the court a little bit on them. I think that our speed might be some problems for them, but at the same time, you never know. Yeah. I mean, we'll see what our game plan looks like within the first 5 minutes. So.
For sure. You guys get them at home tomorrow night. And then for the return game, it's another Tuesday. This time it's on the road, obviously.
Hopefully that snows.
January 27th, the week that y'all travel to Loretto at the end of the week.
What are the odds?
We're going to have some deja vu in 3 weeks. Yeah. We're going to be doing this week over again. I'm not going to say that in that way, but, played 2 games, exact same. It's a little unique, I guess, especially since one of them's non-district. You wouldn't expect that to be done the same way.
Maybe that's just how it happens, because, our district overall pre-made the schedule, with everybody's schedule all together. So Coach Wild at Forest and Coach Tibbs at Loretto, they got together and they made the schedule. So maybe that's just how it fell for us to have that Tuesday open. So
for sure. Well, good luck tomorrow. Good luck Friday as district play begins. Looking forward to talking to you, between the games or during the boys' game, really. But how that works on Tuesday, and then Friday as Cascade concludes its 4-game homestand on Friday night with a pair of home games this week. So that'll be we're all looking forward to that, and it's the best time of the year. It is. Yes, right after that on next Tuesday in 8 days. So thank Thank you, Coach, for coming in as
Thank you.
always, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
We'll be back in 2 minutes. Talk to Coach Worsley on the other side of this break on the Cascade Coaches Show.
Looking for farm fresh beef with real Tennessee flavor? At Five Oaks Farm in Shelbyville, their cattle are pasture raised and grain finished for rich, tender taste every time. From their popular burger box to the fully stocked family box, Five Oaks Farm is here to serve you with high quality, locally raised beef. Order your box today at fiveoaksfarmtn.com. Five Oaks Farm, a brand you can trust.
In our community, we believe in supporting one another. And at First Community Bank, we take that seriously. For generations, we've been proud to serve our neighbors with personal service that's as genuine as a handshake. Whether you're opening an account for your new business, saving for your child's education, or just need a safe place for your money, we're here with a commitment to the people of our hometown. First Community Bank, proud to be your hometown bank. Visit us today and see how we can help you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Visit Kincaid Service Company today to experience the superior comfort of a Serta mattress. Serta has pioneered sleep innovation for more than 90 years, bringing quality products to more than 150 countries worldwide. Serta Comfort is validated by consumers with thousands of 5-star reviews and are designed and assembled in the U.S. at one of Serta's state-of-the-art facilities. Serta's award-winning mattress collections are created by providing superior comfort along with overall support and breathability. Get Serta Comfort by visiting Kincaid Service Company in Shelbyville. Online at kincaidservice.com.
If you're in the market for heavy equipment, Clanton Pipe and Supply has you covered. With everything from skid steers, backhoes, and even mini excavators, you never know what Clanton will have on the lot. For all your pipe and used equipment needs, call 931-684-4847. For heavy equipment, financing is available with approved credit. And of course, you know Clanton for their corrugated metal and plastic culvert pipe. They carry all types and sizes, not to mention that delivery is also available. 931-684-4847, ClantonPipeandSupply.com.
It's the Cascade Coaches Show on the Zinger 100.9.
Welcome back to the Cascade Coaches Show right here on the Zinger 100.9. Maddox now joined by boys head coach Doug Worsley. Coach, welcome to the show.
Welcome back. I appreciate it.
And in studio today, we appreciate that. You know, that's always a little added bonus whenever that's able to line up. The Cascade Coaches Show brought to you by Five Oaks Farm of Tennessee, Clanton Pipe and Supply, First Community Bank, and Kincaid Service Company. So you guys 8-6 after a post-Christmas classic at Moore County last week, which we caught you on the tail end right after the game against Wayne County. You guys, when we left off, had a game the next early afternoon, not next morning, but, 1 p.m. That's basically morning for teams that play at 7:30 every day. And you guys took down Grundy County 73-56, and then on Friday, the score looks like it was a blowout. But that game, it had a chance to get close at the end, turn, and then you guys kind of, went on a major run the last 3 minutes to take home the 8th win of the season for you guys, 79-44. Both teams on Friday night shot, well, not both Cascade, Fayetteville City, both Cascade teams shot over 55% from the floor. I don't know, maybe there was something in the air on Friday for both of you guys, but shooting a pretty efficient clip from the field. Not necessarily for you guys as much from downtown, but points in the paint, 56-8. I mean, that is the number that stands out, along with the rebounding differential. But the biggest thing, when you have a difference as big as 56-8, something was going right for you guys down low.
Yeah, we made a concentrated effort to attack the basket. We knew their big man was out. He had suffered a broke nose the day before, 2 days before, and wasn't going to be playing. And he had clogged up the lane a little bit on us the first time we played him. Yep. So the idea was, hey, look, I know everybody wants to shoot the three. Everybody's excited to shoot the three. And certainly, you're trying to keep up with the girls. The girls shoot the three really well. So we're like, but let's throttle that back just a little bit. Yeah. Let's attack the paint and let's see what happens. We thought, looking at film, several of their games, they weren't a great help team team defense. They rely a lot on one-on-one. I'm gonna guard my yard, so to speak. And we felt like if we could get some advantages, create some advantages for us, especially off of missed shots, that we could get to the paint and score when we wanted to. I didn't realize how lopsided it was till I saw the stats the next day. And when I'm going back and looking at it, we actually made a point today at the end of practice. We came in and showed some video clips. We had put some clips together, and I showed them, guys, it's 58-6. I said, this is paint touches. I said, that's highly unusual. I said, but it was, now you understand why we told you quit shooting the three so much. I mean, we didn't shoot great from the three-point line, but now you know why we were saying, hey, forget the three-point line. Get to the paint, because when you get there, there's a good chance you're going to score.
Yeah, for sure. That is the biggest number. And paint touches, yeah, I can't remember his name exactly from the first game, but y'all put him in foul trouble after about the first quarter, and they obviously got off to that fast start in the first quarter of that first game. And then, when you guys took him out of the game, essentially, it made things a lot easier for you guys, especially Henry, of course, in that game. In this one on Friday, Caleb Kelso, double-double with 21 and 10, had 4 assists and 2 steals. I mean, just kind of doing everything. 8 of 9 from inside the arc. What more could you ask from him on a game like that? Kind of just doing a little bit of everything for you guys.
Yeah, and Caleb's made an effort to, hunt the paint. We talk about hunting the world, hunt the paint. He's made an effort, because I've gotten on to him about he settles sometimes too much for the three. And he's good at it, don't get me wrong, but if he wants to be a player to go to that next level, he's got to be able to show other coaches, other programs, that he can get to the paint and finish. And so we even talked about that today at the end. We were grading some three-point shots. We always go in and we grade our three-point shots. Hey, what kind of shot is it? Is it a 7, which a 7 is a drive and a kick, and guys got a wide-open 3? Mm-hmm. Or were they challenged, Was it a 6? Was it a 5? And if you get down to the 4s, you were probably coming out, on a grade. So, but we were grading some threes that he had taken, and really there was only maybe one bad one that we would say, hey, that was probably a 5. Yeah. But most of the others are good 7s, and they're just not going in right now. Well, guess what? You were getting to the paint. It didn't matter. Yeah. So our thing was, hey, as long as you're getting to the paint, as long as you're doing what we're supposed to do, we're not worried about the 3. The 3 comes and goes sometimes. Everybody's going to hit that shooting slump at some point, and he might be in a little bit of one. Who knows? We got several guys that maybe they're not shooting as well as they were, but we've got other guys who are shooting it better.
Yeah, we'll get into it a little bit. What happened?
We've got some other guys getting going.
Yeah. Just as a quick aside, Jack Fincher is the big guy that was out. He had 12 and 11. Those 11 are rebounds in the first game when he was able to play before he fouled out. So that obviously is an advantage for you guys. But again, just to go back to the flow of the game, it was a 9-point game. They get a run out, and Henry gets in front, takes a huge charge. If that was a block, it's a 3-point play, and it's a 6-point game. Maybe with about 3 minutes to go, instead you guys just kind of that was the flip in the fourth quarter where you guys were able to put it away after that. But I mean, first things, big charge taken by Henry. Who had 13 points, just missed 1 field goal, had 7 rebounds on a pair of steals, but, maybe had the biggest play of the game in a game that turned out to be a 35, I guess, point game. But, he kind of had the one play, if you wanted to point to one, that really flipped it. Yeah.
Yeah. And looking back, when I watched the film the other day, it was, hey, it's a 12-point game. It's a 15-point game. We really weren't getting away from them. And then we went brain dead and didn't stay with number 2 like we were supposed to. We had some guys who were supposed to be no leave. Well, all of a sudden they leave, and he pops a 3. Yeah. And then there's an offensive rebound on his next miss, and he gets it back, and he pops a 3. Now, we just went from 15 to 9, and then, like you said, we have the big play with Henry. But then, I'm watching the tape, and I go, hey, it was only a 9-point lead, and then all of a sudden it's 25 points.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what just happened? You had – Tristan came down, hit a 3. you had a bunch of layups where guys, there's no help. They're getting in the paint and scoring. D'Lo hits a three. Delonte hits a three. Then he gets a steal off the inbounds and sticks it back. Like he scored 5 straight points
in 2 seconds.
Right, and it was, hey, what just happened there? It went from 9 to 25, and then the floodgates opened. So
right, it was all happened in the span of about 120 seconds to get up there. Those are the kind of ones, from an observer's point of view, a lot of fun. I'll just say, me personally, me and Brian, we're having a lot of fun watching that unfold. You guys didn't have to dig yourself a hole like the first game a little bit, early in the first quarter. Yeah. You guys responded, pretty well here in this one. And we can go ahead and, I think that one, I think the game on Friday, we'll shout out Ryder, had 14 points, 5 of 7 from the floor. Took advantage of Fincher not being in the game, made the most of his opportunities down low. I would say
did a very good job. We're really happy with the way Ryder played on Friday, and he's starting to figure some things out where we're like, hey, you're in the post, go to work. They bring the double, kick it from where the help came from, and he did that several times Friday. We didn't knock down the three, but he found the right guy open. And then other times it was, hey, be slow, be smooth, now go score. Yeah. And he did. He got the crab dribble going. Here it is. Okay, nobody's coming. All right, I'm going to go ahead and score. Yeah. And he did a good job with that. And so he's starting to see some reward coming from all that hard work.
Yeah. It felt like at the beginning of the season, because he hadn't scored a bucket in, coming into the first meeting against Fayetteville City. And then he, the start of the game, it's like there's a lid on the bucket for him. First 3 or 4 shots just kind of roll off the rim and whatnot. But it felt like at the start of the season, once he got the game reps, a few of them under his belt, that he would be a positive piece for you guys. To use to play this season. We'll continue talking to Coach Worsley right here on the Cascade Coaches Show on the Zinger 100.9.
Looking for farm fresh beef with real Tennessee flavor? At 5 Oaks Farm in Shelbyville, their cattle are pasture raised and grain finished for rich, tender taste every time. From their popular burger box to the fully stocked family box, 5 Oaks Farm is here to serve you with high quality, locally raised beef. Order your box today at 5oaksfarmtn.com. 5 Oaks Farm, a brand you can trust.
At First Community Bank, we're more than just a place to deposit your paycheck. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your community partners. Whether it's helping you buy your first home, saving for college, or offering a loan to get your dream off the ground, we're here every step of the way. For over 35 years, we've been proud to serve the people of Bedford County. When you bank with us, you're not just a customer, you're part of the family. First Community Bank, your hometown bank. Stop by today. We're just right down the road. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Visit Kincaid Service Company today to experience the superior comfort of a Serta mattress. Serta has pioneered sleep innovation for more than 90 years, bringing quality products to more than 150 countries worldwide. Serta Comfort is validated by consumers with thousands of 5-star reviews and are designed and assembled in the U.S. at one of Serta's state-of-the-art facilities. Serta's award-winning mattress collections are created by providing superior comfort along with overall support and breathability. Get Serta Comfort by visiting Kincaid Service Company in Shelbyville. Online at kincaidservice.com.
If you're in the market for heavy equipment, Clanton Pipe and Supply has you covered. With everything from skid steers, backhoes, and even mini excavators, you never know what Clanton will have on the lot. For all your pipe and used equipment needs, call 931-684-4847. For heavy equipment, financing is available with approved credit. And of course, you know Clanton for their corrugated metal and plastic culvert pipe. They carry all types and sizes, not to mention that delivery is also available. 931-684-4847, ClantonPipeandSupply.com.
It's the Cascade Coaches Show on the Zinger 100.9.
Welcome back to the Cascade Coaches Show, brought to you by 5 Oaks Farm of Tennessee, Clanton Pipe and Supply, First Community Bank, and Kincaid Service Company. Noah Maddox here with Coach Doug Worsley. Coach, we'll go a little bit further back in time to 6 days ago, Tuesday, December the 30th, all the way back in last year. and at least discuss a little bit this game against Grundy County. You guys took home a win. It ended up being a 14-point win. But there's some stats in there where, some bold ones on the left side for you guys. But the biggest thing, preparing for the game on Friday night, looking in there, just getting the last game, stuff in, and see that 35 under the column of points, and it was for you guys. A couple guys played really well in this game, it looks like, from the box score at this Moore County Christmas Classic. But Tristan Billings, 35 points on 14 of 20 from the floor, 7 of 10 from 3. It seems like he kind of put it all together last week.
Yeah, Tristan, of course, he's done a really good job. He's gone up and down. This really kind of started back in the tournament at Loudon. Had a pretty good night the first night against Loudon. Made some shots, made a couple big shots. And then nobody really shot it well against Tellico Plains. And then against Austin East, he hit some big shots. And he kind of got his groove going, and I think he scored 14 that night. And so he'd been practicing hard. He's been practicing hard. And just one of those things where Tristan's, I just keep telling him, hey, dude, just got to get a little better defensively. Biggest thing that's, slowing you down right now is from more minutes on the floor is got to do a better job defensively. And then just remain confident even when your shot's not falling. Well, he didn't have that problem. He did not have that problem against Grundy County. First off, he's been a great spark plug for us. Some people that, Coach Roberts and I have batted things around. Hey, do we start him? Do we do this? Do that? And I'm like, I don't want to start him. I'd rather him come off the bench. He gets to watch the game for 3, maybe 4 minutes. And then, all right, now I got a good idea what's going on. And he comes in and he brings us a scoring spark. Because we might be pulling Henry off for a rest, or maybe Kelso off for a rest. Somebody's coming off. And so you don't really lose anything in the ability to score. And that night or afternoon, it didn't matter because Tristan came in the game, and I think he hit his first 3 or 4 shots. And I think the first 3 were threes. One of them was off a nice, we came down. They had their defense set. We kind of ran through an action, and he got a nice flip pass from Kelso, and he knocks it down. And so that got us into our press. We got a steal. I know what it was. He got a steal. We threw it ahead, and he got a layup out of it. We got back in the press. They broke it. They took a quick shot. We came down, and Kelso pitched it ahead to him. I thought he was going to the basket. I really did. When he pitched it ahead, because our rule is if you're behind the defense, go to the rim.
Yeah.
Kelso pitched it, and he stopped. And I was like, why did he do that? I looked at Coach Roberts. I was like, what did he do that for? Like, he just stopped his momentum, and then he launched the 3, and I was like, and it went in, and I was like, whoo, okay. Well, then his next shot was, again, they had their defense set. We came out of an action. He came off of it, and they pit, I want to say maybe it was Henry or somebody came through and pitched it out to him when his man left, and he drilled another one. I was like, he's feeling it now.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, it didn't matter. Like, everything he put up, just about everything went in. He had one little heat check moment where I think he'd hit 5 or 6 straight shots, and he pulled one probably from the volleyball line.
Hey.
And I subbed him out on the call and said, you know why you're coming out? And he goes, yeah, that was a heat check, Coach. My bad. And I was like, you're good, man. So go get you a drink of water, mate. But, yeah, he played really well all night. And we just kept feeding him, and I kept reiterizing that in the huddle. Hey, ride the guy who's hot right now. Tristan's hot. As soon as they start doubling or doing something to adjust to him, that leaves somebody else open. Yeah. And they didn't make too many adjustments to him. Okay, keep playing.
Yeah. Reminded of, a game since this one was at Moore County. A guy on your team hit 7 threes. Noah Watson in that very gym.
Oh, really?
At Moore County, against Moore County. But he had that same kind of start, hits his first 3 or 4, and it's like he didn't miss. He kept on, might have been more than 7 makes in the end, but it was nearly a 30-point outing, just on threes. And it's just like, when the guy's feeling it, something about that gym, sometimes somebody's going to get hot. It always felt like watching the game. You mentioned Caleb, 13 points, 9 boards, 7 assists, nearly a triple-double.
Yep.
I guess it makes his assist job pretty easy.
And that's what I kept telling him. He kept walking over to me. He was kind of frustrated. His three's not been falling. Yeah. And he was like, Coach, I can't. Something's wrong with my shot. And I'm like, don't worry about your shot. I said, keep getting Tristan the ball.
Yeah.
I said, take the assist. Assist is just as good as a make. Yeah. I said, just go with it. And he did. So that's that's what you expect your point guard to do.
For sure. We'll keep talking about Tristan, because I think there's some important stuff to go into from kind of the progression from the start of the season. But we'll continue talking about that on the other side of this 2-minute break right here on the Cascade Coaches Show on the Zinger 100.9.
Looking for farm fresh beef with real Tennessee flavor? At Five Oaks Farm in Shelbyville, their cattle are pasture raised and grain finished for rich, tender taste every time. From their popular burger box to the fully stocked family box, Five Oaks Farm is here to serve you with high-quality, locally raised beef. Order your box today at fiveoaksfarmtn.com. Five Oaks Farm, a brand you can trust.
At First Community Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're a true partner in your success. As a local business ourselves, we understand the challenges you face. Whether you're a new startup, a family business, or a growing company, we're here to help offer the tailored financial solutions you need. Looking for a loan, a business checking account that works for you, or expert advice from someone who truly gets it? We're just a call away, ready to support you with personalized service that makes a real difference. At First Community Bank, we believe your success is our success. Join the many local businesses who trust us every day to help them grow. Come see us today or visit firstcommunitybanker.com to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Kincaid's is proud to offer Beauty Rest Black to our customers. Beauty Rest Black represents a leap forward in bedding with sleep climate technology keeping you cool and triple-stranded pocketed coils that give you luxurious support all night long. Wake up refreshed and ready to take on the day with a new Beauty Rest Black mattress from Kincaid Service Company. 400 Madison Street, Shelbyville, across from the Speedway gas station. 931-684-5662. If you're in the market for heavy equipment, Clanton Pipe and Supply has you covered. With everything from skid steers, backhoes, and even mini excavators, you never know what Clanton will have on the lot. For all your pipe and used equipment needs, call 931-684-4847. For heavy equipment, financing is available with approved credit. And of course, you know Clanton for their corrugated metal and plastic culvert pipe. They carry all types and sizes, not to mention that delivery is also available. 931-684-4847, ClantonPipeandSupply.com.
It's the Cascade Coaches Show on the Zinger 100.9.
Welcome back to the Cascade Coaches Show on the Zinger 100.9. Five Oaks Farm, presented by Five Oaks Farm of Tennessee, Clanton Pipe and Supply, First Community Bank, and Kincaid Service Company. Maddox here with Coach Doug Worsley. Coach, the last thing before we move on to district play that's upcoming, we're talking about Tristan Millings had a breakout game on last Tuesday against Grundy County since the last time we talked. I'll present this to you, and then you can kind of go whichever way you want to with it. But it felt like early in the season, he hadn't had the real game minutes as much as some other guys before this season, coming into this season. So it felt like early on he's trying to find the rhythm of how the game's played. So you could say, shot selection, something that we're working on. And if it obviously, it comes to fruition when they're good shots, they're going in. And so I felt like, that's just something that, comes with, once you get experience with the flow of the game, right. That's something that can develop, especially for somebody that can obviously make the shot. For you, coming into this season and then as the season has progressed, how surprised were you by that necessarily? Because I'm sure you knew that, the capabilities of making a number of threes in a game were there, but just, the fact that he kind of put it together in that game.
Yeah, Tristan, we saw him obviously this summer, and I thought he did some really good things this summer. And, the biggest thing with him was, can he figure out defensively how we want to play and then contribute there? I kind of felt like he had the ability to shoot the basketball, just from talking to various people, because to be honest, I watched him this summer make some buckets. I know it's summertime. You know, everybody's a little different than summertime, but just talking around with some people who have watched the program for a while, and I said, "What's the deal with Tristan?" Like, hardly saw him play at all as a junior. Like I watched every game for them as a junior. I watched every game, very few minutes. I'm like, "What's the deal?" And they're like, "Well, some people have said, when the lights come on, maybe he struggles a little bit." I'm like, okay, well, that's sometimes that happens to people.
Fair.
Yeah, it's fair. Hey, there's a lot of JV kids. First time they get their varsity minutes, lights are on, and it gets big. Yeah. The eyes get big. So I thought, well, okay, he just needs time and, reps. And so in the preseason, we started to see it. He was starting to get a few reps in. Of course, it's preseason play days. It's not the real thing yet.
Right.
And then at Franklin County, he didn't play terrible, but he kind of had those moments where he shot it fast. Maybe it looked like he was adjusting to the speed of the game or whatever. And all right, hey Tristan, just find a better shot. Maybe look to drive first. Then get back outside the 3-point line, spot up. And there were some highs and lows to that early in the season. I thought he's had a couple of games before we got to Christmas that were solid. But the biggest thing was just getting used to the speed of the game. Like I thought he did. I didn't think he played very poorly at Cannon County. I thought he played a really solid game for us. Was definitely a guy who was shooting open shots. They just didn't go down. So, I knew it's going to click. And it started clicking. Like we said, at Loudon, he shot the ball pretty well in that tournament. And then when we came back, he just kind of carried over. Nobody shot it really well against Wayne County, but that goes without saying. But then that game, and then with Fayetteville, he shot the ball well, and so I'm just encouraging him. I talked to him after the game at Fayetteville and said, "Hey, look," I said, "you're not going to score 30 every night. That's not realistic." I said, "But can you keep doing what you're doing? Yes, you can do that. I have confidence in you. Just keep playing." Yeah, and so that's the big thing,
for sure. Moving on to Friday. You guys, of course, play Huntland tomorrow, final non-district game before district play begins. A couple more non-district games, including a second game against them in about 3 weeks or so. But tomorrow night is final tune-up for the real second phase of the season, which starts on Friday. And diving right into it off the, head first off the diving board against Loretto, the reigning 2A state champs, and who play Mount Pleasant. That is Summertown. They already played. They won't play again. They played Saturday against Lawrence County. Again, that's Summertown. It didn't go back for me. Yeah, they played on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday they played Mars Hill High School.
And then you guys are their next game, so they get a whole week between that. You guys get this little tune-up between Huntland. Real quick, before we get cut off here, thoughts for the district. How excited are you guys as a team and you as a head coach?
We're looking forward to district play. It's going to be a challenge for us, obviously, kind of unofficially, just kind of polling each other and kind of figuring out where we think we're going to finish. I think Summertown's probably the favorite to win it. I think Loretto's probably number 2. Most people are saying Community's 3, we're 4, and Forest is 5. How accurate is that? I don't know. I think our district is very competitive. Yeah. If everybody's healthy, who knows? Loretto's not the same team as last year. So, you're the defending state champs, but you got to go out and win another one now. So, that's what I'm preaching to the guys. This is not the same team. So, no matter what we see, it's going to be a different squad. And so they got to see a little bit, I think, on game film last year what Loretto was like. Yeah. Tips is a very good coach. Coach Tips does a great job. They're going to go out and guard it. They're going to rebound. They're going to be physical. It's really weird to look at our district and see how many different styles there are. Summertown plays, blazing fast. They're going to shoot the 3. They're going to press. Loretto's more half court, a little more deliberate. Community, haven't watched them enough on film to know, but I think they got a mixture of that. And Forest, I don't know anything about other than just seeing some of their scores. Yeah. So, and then we're somewhere in there going, doing what we try to do.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how we adjust and match up.
We appreciate your time as always. Thank you for coming in tonight. Again, against Cascade against Huntland at home on Tuesday, Cascade at home against Loretto on Friday. Good luck this week, Coach.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
We'll be back tomorrow night. We'll be live at 5:45 right here on the Zinger 100.9 as Cascade takes on Huntland. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
This is senior Cascade cheerleader Carly Joe, and you're on the radio home of the champions, the Zinger 100.9 and AM 1400. Go champions. Go champs.
Go champs!
From the Farm Bureau Insurance North Main Office Weather Center, here's Southern Tennessee weather meteorologist Elijah Kirby.
It's another quiet and mild Monday across southern middle Tennessee. Skies will remain mostly clear and temperatures will climb into the lower 60s, topping out near 63 degrees. Light south winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour will keep conditions comfortable. As we head into the evening hours, skies will gradually turn partly cloudy. Temperatures will cool slightly, settling into the 50s after sunset, making for a pleasant evening overall. Overnight, clouds will increase a bit more. Expect partly to mostly cloudy skies with lows near 50 degrees, much milder than what we've seen over the past few days. Tuesday remains warm and fairly quiet. Highs will reach around 65 degrees under partly to mostly cloudy skies. A week to start.
WZNG Shelbyville, the Zinger 100.9 and AM 1400. Real classic rock.
From the first days of pro football in the Mid-South.
Do the Titans have a miracle left in the McNabb?